The thing is, if you're looking for invoicing software, you have the opportunity to use QuickBooks Invoicing. But if for any reason you do not want to use QuickBooks Invoicing, you have some alternatives that you need to explore. Into this conversation, I want to talk to you about 3 alternatives that you might want to consider if you're looking for a QuickBooks Invoicing alternative. So here's a review I want you to pay attention to. First of all, you want to go with Square Invoices. Square Invoices is kind of cool. The cool thing is that you have basically in terms of affordability, is really wonderful because if you are really good, you might be paying nothing at all. And the maximum you can pay here is like a $20 to $25 a month. Okay. Now there is a transaction cost here. You have 2.6% to 3.5% plus 10 to 30 cents per transaction. In other words, you are going to use Square POS, the point of sale software. So this is kind of cool. So Square Invoices, for all intents and purposes, is an affordable alternative to QuickBooks that gives you precisely what you need for payment processing. There is also Square Team Management app that you can add on for free to track time for invoicing. So this cloud-based solution lets you run your business wherever you are, as long as you have an internet connection. That's the whole thing. You need to have internet. If you don't have service in whatever area, like if you go in the mountains or you are in an area where you don't have service, then this could be problematic. With a paid plan, you can create custom invoices for clients and then save them as templates to access later. And Square Invoices lets you create invoices for milestone payments or in full. And then you simply process the payments according to the schedule you create. And processing rates are standard for Square. So 2.9%, as I said, plus 30% for each online card payment. And 2.6% plus 10 cents for card-present transactions. Card-present transactions are always cheaper than online payments. An online ACH payment costs 1% of the total, with a minimum of $1 fee per transaction. So Square Invoices doesn't limit the number of invoices that you send or the number of customers or users you have on your system. If you have a team working for you, track their hours worked for invoice purposes using Square's free team management add-on. This is really cool. The only caveat here with using Square Invoices is that you will have to pay the monthly fee to create custom invoices, save templates, and set up milestone-based pay schedules. Okay, so who should really use it? Well, in our view, Square Invoices is a great choice for almost any small business, from freelancers to small teams that need time cards to track hours. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate having you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. So I really want to talk to you about the pros and cons of Square Invoices. The thing is, when you actually sign up with Square Invoices, you have to really pay attention to the POS, the point of sale. So the point of sale has that point of sale tool will introduce a series of fees and costs and other implications in your operations. But as long as you're comfortable with that, you are good to go. Okay, as I said earlier, card present transactions are cheaper generally, and not just with Square, with other players. They're generally cheaper than online transactions. In other words, card not present transactions. So what are the pros and cons of Square Invoices? Let's first start with the pros. You have a free and low price plan. So in terms of affordability, this is really good. And the free trial is available. So you are able to use Square Invoices for a while, 2 weeks, in some cases 1 month, to see if you like it before you actually commit. You have low ACH payment cost, and you have flat processing fees. So those fees are not going to really they're not dynamic. They're really flat. This is really good. You are able to accept payments online or in person. As I said before, this is another feature of let's say POS based transactions. You have unlimited invoices. As I said before, Square Invoices does not limit the number of invoices you send or the number of customers or users you have on your system. So this is kind of cool. If you were to look at this from an operational configuration sort of process, an operational configuration sort of setup, this is kind of cool. You are able to accept payments online or in person. You also have a free time tracking option. So this is really fantastic. So this is actually, it's not an exhaustive list of all the pros that you have, but at least you have an idea of all the benefits you can expect with Square Invoices. What about the cons here? Well, there are at least one drawback that we really think is important is that the customization, milestone payment, and save invoice templates are available on the paid plan only. So Square is actually sort of reserving certain features for the paid plan only. But hey, listen, it is what it is. So customization, milestone payment, and save invoice templates those are on the paid plan only. Boss, I want to quickly remind you to this topic. We are having a conversation about 3 QuickBooks invoicing alternatives for small businesses. Number 2, let's talk about Freshbooks. So first alternative, Square Invoices. Second alternative, Freshbooks. So when we talk about Freshbooks, first of all, I want you to really think about the fact that, Freshbooks has a very wonderful user-friendly interface. So from a UX and UI perspective, Freshbooks is just fantastic. And it's really intuitive, and it lacks the accounting industry terms you may not know as a business owner. So if you're not into accounting, you don't have to learn all the lingo, no. And the FreshBooks makes things very easy for you. And FreshBooks doesn't limit the number of invoices you can send. So even the low tier plan is a viable and affordable option. And plans range from $15 to $75, $55 to $75 per month, minus an introductory discount for the first several months. And if you accept bank transfers for payment, you are only charged a 1% ACH fee. So it's one of those things you have to see what kind of payment functionality is great for you. And there is a free trial available. So we always love software providers that give you a free trial because they give you the opportunity to test out their work, to get your feet wet, so to speak, operationally wet, so you can see if you like the software or not. And so you can test FreshBooks before you can commit to an annual subscription for the app. It's also a great choice for businesses with employees who need to track billable hours. It includes time tracking on all plans. So there are some features missing from FreshBooks that you might want, such as inventory tracking and line item accounting. Plus, the lower priced plans limit you on the number of clients you can invoice. So for growing companies, you will have to choose one of the costlier plans. So who should really use it? So when we talk about FreshBooks, new or small businesses will do well to pick FreshBooks for billing and tracking expenses. And we love the fact that it's a very simple program that lets you create an unlimited number of invoices, including recurring invoices at an affordable price. So when we talk about FreshBooks, what are the pros and the cons you need to be aware of if you are thinking about QuickBooks invoicing, if you're thinking about using FreshBooks as a QuickBooks invoicing alternative? So let's first talk about the advantages. You have a free trial available. So a free trial is always great because, again, as I said before, that means that the software provider is pretty confident of the quality of his or her software, right? And you have recurring invoices on all planes. So this is kind of cool also because it gives you flexibility. It gives you operational flexibility to really control the revenue generating work streams in your company. You have unlimited invoices. You can customize your invoices, not a problem at all. And we're talking here not just customization in terms of the format, but also the branding also. And you have time tracking on all plans. This is another feature that we love a lot here. And you have a built-in client portal. So you have the ability to actually have a built-in client portal so that your clients, your customer, can really manage everything from their end in a professional manner, in a professional context. And everything is secure though. Don't worry about the client data being exposed, not at all. So those are the pros. Let's talk about the cons here. You have limited clients on low priced plans. You can remove FreshBooks branding only on the high priced plan. So, FreshBooks will actually display their branding And if you don't like that, then you have to pay for it. You have to pay, and there is no inventory tracking. So if you're looking for an accounting or invoicing solution that has inventory tracking, then you need to look elsewhere, because FreshBooks does not offer that, at least as of the date of this show. What I want to say in general here is that when you think about FreshBooks, I want you to think about user friendliness. I want you to think about simplicity. Now, not simplicity in a bad way. Simplicity in like, okay, this is what you need. You do not need to have a PhD in accounting to understand the features, the capabilities that are embedded within within FreshBooks. Everything is pretty clear. It's straightforward. You know what to do. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about 3 QuickBooks invoicing alternatives for a small business. I want to talk to you about the third alternative here. We have Zoho Invoice. So when you think about Zoho Invoice, I want you to think about the fact that this is a software tool that makes it easy for small businesses to go from estimate to project to invoice to payment without having to pay for the software to make it possible. And the cool thing is that this Zoho Invoice is part of the larger Zoho ecosystem, right? So basically, if you already using other Zoho products, then having this free online invoicing software is kind of cool. Okay, the cool thing is it is absolutely free. It is simple. It is secure because it is backed by a conglomerate, a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. So Zoho Invoice is 100% free to use. The only cost to you is for transaction fees when a client pays you, and that cost comes from whichever payment processor you choose to integrate with the Zoho Invoice. And the client portal makes it easy for you to communicate with your customers about custom estimates, timesheets, and invoices you create. You can also set up recurring invoices for regular work or even retainer invoices for ongoing work on long-term projects. And time tracking is an included feature in Zoho Invoice, so we love that a lot, and you can turn billable hours on a project into an invoice. So this ability to turn billable hours on a project into an invoice is really, we prize that a lot. We really honor that a lot. Okay. Perhaps the biggest downside to using this free product is that it is not scalable on its own. So you are limited to 1 user on the software and 5 clients total. So if you have a small business, if you have let's say a small size operation, you're a freelancer, this could be fine. If you have a small number of clients also, this could be fine. But if you want to scale, then you're going to start paying for stuff. Okay. So Zoho Invoice, in our view, for all intents and purposes, is most suitable for freelancers and small service-based businesses, mostly because it doesn't include inventory tracking or full accounting features. For example, there are no balance sheets or bank reconciliation features. So again, if you care about that kind of stuff, you will need to look elsewhere. I want to talk to you about the pros and cons of Zoho Invoice so we are clear about what we're talking about here. So let me first start about the pros. So when you think about Zoho Invoice as a QuickBooks invoicing alternative, you have a free plan, so this is really good. You have the ability to customize invoices. You are able to send estimates to clients for approval. So again, if you look at the full transparency across the revenue generating work stream, you have that full transparency there. You are able to create recurring invoices. You are able to set up retainer invoices. So this is kind of cool. Again, if you are working on a long-term, if you are working on long-term projects, having that retainer invoices, having those retainer invoices are really cool. And you are able to track expenses also. This is another added feature that we love a lot within Zoho Invoice. You have a built-in client portal. So, when you think about invoicing, having a built-in client portal is an important element because it adds a layer of credibility, a layer of, credibility and operational efficiency in your dealings, in your interaction with your clients. Because the client can really just log into their built-in client portal and basically see how much they owe you, and how much they've been paying you for the last 3 months, the last 6 months, the last 1 year. It really depends. And you can also, another benefits that we love with Zoho Invoice is that you can choose a payment gateway that you prefer. So you have flexibility there, you have freedom here, you have autonomy. This is really good. Let me share with you a few cons that we believe are important to note if you were to go with a Zoho Invoice. There is no inventory tracking. I think I said this before. You have time tracking, that's for sure, but you do not have inventory tracking. And another big disadvantage is that you are limited to 1 user and 5 clients. So I think, as I said before, in terms of scalability, in terms of your ability to expand real fast through Zoho Invoice, you're not going to be able to do that. Now you could do that if you start paying for stuff. Okay, if you pay for stuff, not a problem. Before we close to this conversation, I want to quickly talk about QuickBooks, and I want to give you an overview. So is QuickBooks the best accounting/invoicing software? Well, really, let's talk about that. Well, let's first talk about the QuickBooks pros and cons. Let's first talk about the pros. It's easy to use. It is popular with accountants. You have a fully featured software tool, and you have scalable plans. What about the cons? Well, advanced functions may be too complex for new users, and you have limited help options. So this is kind of that I'm just trying to lay out the foundation of the analysis for you. Now, when to choose a competitor over QuickBooks? Now, even at the lowest tier, QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online can be pricey choices compared to alternatives, and QuickBooks also doesn't provide adequate support for new users on the lower priced plans. So if your budget is low, you don't need all the features of a full accounting program, and you want more avenues for support, you may be better off choosing a QuickBooks competitor. So here are the steps that you need to really go through if you want to choose accounting software. So whether you think QuickBooks is the best choice for your small business or you think a QuickBooks alternative is better, you should make a checklist of your needs. So aside from the obvious features such as double entry and time tracking, you should look for a software that offers payroll, bill payments, and is affordable for your budget, right? So the essential features here include double entry, invoicing, bill payments, expense tracking, bank reconciliation, time tracking, payroll, integrations, and mobile app. And also pay attention to the pricing, right? I mean, of course, you can find some free accounting software options out there, but fully featured accounting software usually comes at a cost. Accounting apps will usually set you back about $20 per month for the low tier of cloud-based solutions. Legacy software is harder to find, and even QuickBooks Desktop has moved to a subscription-based solution. And cloud-based software is far more popular today, and with that comes tiers for different types or sizes of businesses. So you are likely to find a free plan which will be suitable for an individual, but you will have limits on the number of invoices you can send, or you may have no access to advanced features. So it is what it is. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. To this conversation, let's just do a quick recap here. I was just speaking to you about 3 QuickBooks invoicing alternatives for a small business. So in the review, I spoke to you about those 3 alternatives. So Square Invoices, Freshbooks, and Zoho Invoice. Then I give you the overview and the steps you need to follow. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.